Here's an update on my garden. This is my beans and peas. Beans are all sprouted and they all look great. I've had nothing but rain for about the last 2 weeks. Rain and cold weather and wind, so everything's kind of slowed down. It was growing really fast when we had the sunny weather, but everything's really slowed down now. But as you can see, the beans are doing awesome. Even the peas are sprouting over here. So I got a bunch of pea plants. My neighbor had given me these starters, so they're doing pretty good. They were half dead when I got them, so I thought I'd just plant them and see how they do. So looks like they're going to survive. And my mounds over here, I got cucumbers growing. They sprouted, but they haven't done much since. So like I said, it's been really cold and lots of rain. So got another hill over here with some. I planted probably 9 seeds on each hill, and on this one I got 5 to come up. I'm having a real bad slug problem, so they're getting some of them too. These are my watermelons. They're doing really good. As soon as we get some warm weather, they'll probably take off. Oh, and my pumpkins. Pumpkins are going nuts. My daughter helped me plant the seeds, so we got pumpkins everywhere. So I'll have to pull some of those out and either transplant them someplace else or give them away or something. See if somebody else can use the starts. Zucchinis, same thing. Just there's only 3 plants on that hill, so that's about perfect. But this one I'll have to thin out. My cantaloupes, I got 5 plants that came up on this hill. And on that one, only 1 plant came up. And like I said, I planted about 9 seeds on each hill, so I don't know what the problem was. But some more zucchinis over here. And my radishes are going nuts. I way overseeded, so I'm gonna have to pull those out, thin them out. But they're going nuts. I'm having a real bad slug problem though, so slugs are tearing into them pretty good. I did some of these little party cups in the dirt, filled them with beer. I got tons of slugs and beetles and all sorts of bugs in there, but I don't even think I'm putting a dent in the slug problem. Carrots, whole row of carrots. They're all up, but they're just really hard to see. I don't know if you can see them there. Beets are coming up and doing awesome. All my broccoli. There, a whole row of little starts. Spinach over there is doing awesome. Whole row of those. All my lettuce. Probably overseeded that too, but I'm probably just gonna let that go because we'll be chopping it out here pretty soon. It's almost ready. Some of that leaf lettuce looks pretty tasty. And these are my older broccolis. We love broccoli here and we can freeze it, so we thought we'd just go nuts with the broccoli. I had planted these ones over on the other end of the garden early, but we got so much rain and cold weather that only about half my seeds came up over there, so I just pulled up what did sprout and replanted it over here, and they just took off. So I got a bunch of plants there. My onions, I got a couple rows of onions here, but they haven't done anything yet. Like I said, it's just too cold and too wet. I know, probably sounds too wet. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but when you get as much rain as we've gotten, it's just terrible. I took all my lawn trimmings and I put it in between the rows and around the hills just to keep the moisture in for when it does get really warm around here. Then I don't have to water so much, so that'll hold the heat in and hold the moisture to the ground. So hopefully that works. On this side here, I'm gonna finish tilling all those weeds out. And then these rows here, there's nothing planted there yet. I think I'm gonna plant my corn there. Probably, maybe today. It looks like the weather's gonna let up and we're gonna have some sun, so I'm probably gonna plant my corn in there. Over here, my perennial beds. I got raspberries. I haven't really done anything in here since the last video, but they're still doing awesome. I put the cages around raspberries, and they're just taking off. This one plant here just looks awesome, but it's kind of protected under the eaves, so it's not getting so much water that it's drowning. I think that's a problem with some of my other plants. Also, I took all of my rabbit manure. I had a whole stockpile built up, and I threw it all in here and tilled it in, so these plants are just going to take off like crazy. I still haven't planted my Marionberry. Anyway, I'll head up to the deck and show you what's going on up there with the strawberries and potted plants. Alright, here's my strawberry pots. These ones are starting to grow sprouts. So that right here in the middle, that middle plant died. I planted 4 plants in each one of these pots, and the middle one died this last year, but the rest of them are all doing great. But then the little sprouts are starting to come out, so and these ones are just going nuts over here. I don't know if I'm gonna plant these in the ground this year or not. I might just leave them up here and see how they do, get some new plants. But you can see all the new growth coming in on the ground, and the roots are just coming up everywhere. Last year the little runners came off of here and were hanging down probably two feet off of the edge of the deck. It was real pretty. But the birds got all of our berries, so that was no fun. My hanging tomatoes are doing horrible. Just too much water and too cold, too windy. But they're not dead, so we'll see how they turn out. But the lettuce in the top's doing really good. It's coming in nice and full. All different kinds in there. It was like a mixed bag, so you can get your full salad in one bag of seeds, so we threw it in there. Here's some other strawberries, store-boughts that got ripe berries on them already. They look horrible, but I'm sure they'll taste fine. My other hanging tomato is doing terrible. All sorts of blight on it, but got some blossoms, so that's good. Definitely going to get some tomatoes off of it. I planted a pepper. I think it's a yellow bell pepper, and the wind just tore it up, so hopefully it recovers. Looks like it's doing alright. These 2 tomato plants are doing horrible also. I had them out in the sun to try and warm them up, but it's just been non-stop rain, like I said before. Hopefully they'll come back. Lots of flowers on them, but so much blight on the bottom leaves. I don't know if they'll make it. Oh, and then back here I have wild strawberries. I went to go mow. I had my lawnmower broke down on me. The gas tank got a crack in it. Finally got it fixed, and I went out to the front yard to mow the lawn, and all these wild strawberries were in the front yard mixed in with the grass. So I didn't really feel like just mowing them all over without trying to save some. So I went out and spent half a day digging them up, trying to separate them from the roots of the grass, which was a big pain in the butt. But I got them all planted, and they're doing wonderful. So hopefully I can replant those in my beds that have some shade, and hopefully they'll do pretty good. As you can see, the runners are taking off. Plants are nice and healthy. I just have them in these little cups because my dad wants a few, so I'm going to give him some too. And my other hanging plant with the other tomato, cherry or grape tomato, I think is what it is in the bottom of that one. It's doing alright, but I think the wind, it caught the brunt of the wind, so luckily these pots, they allow to swing when the wind hits them, so they didn't like break the stalks or anything. And that pepper in there is not doing anything. I don't know what its problem is. I think it's just the lack of sun, lack of heat. Maybe it'll perk back up when the sun comes out. And there's the overhead of my garden. I gotta get all that tilled up over there. Those weeds look terrible.